I don't care nothing.
It just dawned on us that we didn't do our intro video, so we're just gonna fly. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook and YouTube. Idris and I were trying to get the Third Man Boxing one on here, and we got into quite the conversation that I actually think we probably should have ran a show on that.
Yeah, but we can continue it. We could, you know what? We could start the show with that if you want, or we can move on and catch it. Do it at the end. Either way.
All right. We were talking about more personal family matters that we're going to keep off this one. Some old war stories going back to New York. We're going to keep that off this one, but we'll start with first of all, the show is called Ballers and Brawlers. We're going to do a little collaboration here with what's going on in the NBA as well as what's going on in the fight game. But before we do, talking about fighting, people have different ways of fighting in the entertainment industry.
Yes, sir.
Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, he does a lot of his fighting via Instagram, where T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, who I think over the years may have very well earned that title at different junctures of his career, as he was white hot for a good while. And, he ran into some serious beefs in his region, too. Point is, when it comes to the mothers and the kids, that's when the gloves really come off. And we know that we spoke recently about Fifth with his situation with his underlings, Uncle Murda, as well as Tony Yayo on the plane with Ja Rule, all Queens guys.
Right.
This is a little different. You're messing with Tiny, who is a 90s diva in her own right, has her rightful place in music history.
Right on.
And this is a woman, for better or for worse, who has always stood by her man T.I. with all his legal troubles.
Right.
Fifth is calling T.I. a snitch because apparently T.I. put a gun charge on a late family member, and in T.I.'s world, he didn't see it as really snitching because it didn't hurt anybody. It's complicated, but my point is, when you're going after the wife, so to speak, the gloves are off. And I don't know if you've seen that video yet with T.I.'s reply to 50 Cent, but that shit was fire. That shit was hard.
Yeah, I didn't the King's verse was garbage, just say it. But now what's his name? I call him Domino. I gotta admit it. He took it to 50.
Yes,
and
he did.
Yeah, also with Tiny, a lot of people don't realize, like you alluded to, Tiny was with the group Escape back in the 90s, and they were pretty successful.
Yeah, like in my hierarchy of R&B groups in that era, it starts with SWV as the Queens. And then everybody else will talk about it. I put SWV at a different level.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. Some people might argue with me.
They were more closer to the hip hop and R&B. That's why I liked them.
Absolutely, because they brought in on the Above the Rim soundtrack when they did that collaboration with the Woo. That shit changed the lane for a lot of things. But the God's honest truth, Idris, is that the 90s, in my opinion, although you had great male artists too in the R&B realm, it was the woman's decade, where in the early 2000s, you had more of the male movement with guys like solo acts like Donnell Jones.
Yeah.
Guys like Case.
All right.
Come on, bro.
I know. I got a message you on that one, man.
No, but when he does that, skin to be what?
Keep preaching, bro. Keep preaching, bro.
Back to the matter at hand. Listen, I'm a New York guy.
I know, man.
I've copped my fair share of 50 Cent stuff over the years. I used to be a big fan of those G Unit mixtapes, but I'm going to say this.
He's from the Rock, y'all. If y'all don't know what the Rock is, that's Far Rockaway.
My thing with 50 is that you're out of pocket and you're wrong, because similar to the guy who put you on, the rap god, listen, Eminem's a phenomenal lyricist. I'm not going to take nothing away from the man.
Right.
But distinctly remember Jadakiss, the most formidable member of the Warlocks, who now go as the Locks, ask the
Right.
Yonkers, that
Mm-hmm.
when he was like, your boss could get it too, I didn't see Eminem running. And I get it. A man's beef is a man's beef. I didn't see AZ run into Nas's defense because Nas didn't need AZ, just like Jadakiss didn't need anybody to help him destroy Dipset.
You got that right.
But the point I'm making is, I get very turned off because I am old school to a level. And
Yeah.
I get very turned off where these big bad dudes in the hip hop community go after the women. Like when M was going after Mariah Carey, I'm like, dog, you already lost.
Yeah.
You already lost. Or when 50 Cent was shitting on Little Kim because she didn't want to fuck him with his big bucktooth ass.
Also, remember he had that beef with Kanye saying if Kanye beat him, he'll stop rapping, and Kanye won.
Indeed, indeed.
You know, my thing about 50, I understand he wants to expose stuff. Okay, fine. And the thing about T.I. too, 50 wants to expose, I understand, but if you want to make a difference, especially with the Diddy stuff. Now, me and you, we are not cool with Diddy. And let's get that out there. We are not cool with Diddy. We
not
are
in any world, not in any time.
Right. But my thing is this: if you're gonna go after Diddy, why don't you like go to the victims? Why don't you expose what really happened rather than doing it in comedy? Do it to where you are actually bringing light to, abusing women, abusing all that stuff. Why don't you be an advocate?
The obsession, similar to the way that they took down Murder Inc., talking about Interscope, talking about Dre, M, Jimmy Iovine, 50 Cent, his underlings, G Unit and beyond. It was about always destroying, because 50 gets his rocks off on embarrassing people.
Yeah.
But I got news for you. It is quite embarrassing when you're acting like a bitch because a woman didn't want to take you up on an offer.
And
it's embarrassing when
you're
talking about Diddy and his abuse, but yet your baby's mama, who you left for that thotty boombody that fucking got hot showered and Fabulous put it into ever so clear lyricism.
Put it in. Preach it. Preach it.
It's like, come on, bro. And we all know that was a huge motivational tool for why 50 went after Diddy because of his hurt over that. 50's a bully, bro. But he doesn't bully people that are at the same strength. Because even if we revisit the Murder Inc. thing, when did they bury them down? When Preem was in the pen, and when Murder Inc. had all their shit seized.
Yep. As for T.I., and I know a lot of people are gonna think I'm shitting on him, but I'm not. I remember his case distinctly. He had a 10-count felony, federal case on him. Now, as someone who's been locked up, you've dealt with guys in the game. Someone who's been locked up, dealt with guys in the game, even though I wasn't really in the game, but I was in the game. When you got a 10-count federal indictment, there's a 99.9% chance that you're going to prison. And I'll keep it real. He did snitch, because there's no way you're going to beat that indictment when you are facing 10 years Fed time and you get off. He snitched. Let's keep it real. I know the fans are going to be upset. If you know the law and if you know the feds, when the feds got you, they got you. And when it comes to guns, they do not play.
They don't make exceptions for anyone. You even look at that Henry Hill situation.
Right.
They got to be able to feel that you're more valuable as a mouthpiece on that side.
Right. So with that being said, still, 50 mentioned that, but still, you leave family out of this. I could see if you're having a battle rap, using the battle rap.
Yeah, that's more in the moment. It's not like forever bullshit. But when you're parading it on Instagram and other avenues like that,
you're crossing the line.
Yes, indeed. And whether you like T.I., whether you think he's a snitch, whether you don't think he's a snitch, the bottom line is that family held it down together.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So 50, like, because I was a big fan of 50 with his trolling and stuff, but he's taking it too far.
It's
I mean, I
getting
mean, I'm
to a
not,
point of annoyance, bro.
yeah, I'm not a fan of Ti. I wasn't never really into his music. He made a few joints that I like. Rubber Band Man. Um, you don't know me. This he got some joints I like, but I wasn't really into him. But I like Ti as a person because what a lot of people don't know, he built a lot of houses in Atlanta for a lot of
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And
a lot of stuff,
one
man.
of my favorite tracks from Ti, which actually caught me by surprise,
Mm-hmm.
was Castle Walls, which was the final
Yep.
track on No Mercy
Yes, that's another one.
with
That's another
Christina
one.
Aguilera,
That's
another
another one.
another one who was a victim of bullying from Eminem. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, can you see a world where a guy like Rakim Allah is bullying a woman, bro, lyrically or in any other
Oh, yeah.
fucking way?
And
Or
see, that's
Tupac
what.
Shakur? I mean, you don't have to lie to kick it was about as close as it gets.
And see,
But
that's
like,
the thing.
I Get Around and things like that. I think Pac was telling it from two different lenses. That's why he did so many damn interviews to have to explain the shit.
Yeah, and see, back in that era, it wasn't so much. Like I get around. You know, it was more like a party thing. And
Right,
that's how people
right.
did back then. It's a party thing. Like Lil Kim. Everyone knew Kim went out there screwing every man on the block.
No, she was
It was
selling an image and she was a
right,
beautiful woman in her heyday
right.
that was really turning heads being a member of Junior Mafia and an underling of the notorious B.I.G.
She's like the first lady. She was like
She's
the
up
first lady
there because,
at that
of
time.
course, you got Latifah, you've got
MC Light.
Roxanne
Yeah,
Shante, you've
Shantae,
yes,
yeah.
MC Light,
But with Kim,
but
Kim
yeah,
was Kim was like the one who, like,
she
some people
caught
don't
it in
know.
the mainstream and when they were
Yes.
sexualizing it.
Yeah, she was
And
like the
same with Foxy Brown.
she was like the Josephine Baker. She was like the Millie Jackson. She was like the Grace Jones of
Yes,
hip hop. So she
yes.
found that lane and created a whole new joint for female rappers. Now it may not be that positive now, but back then she created that lane. So
However
she
you
did
want,
it.
however it turns that she will or will not be remembered, because
Yeah,
I spoke on this with Corey on a recent show,
yeah,
how hip hop has failed the art of preserving its history in the right way.
yeah.
Um, there's no Cardi B, there's no Megan the Stallion, there's so many without
And
a
you know what?
Little Kim and a Foxy Brown doing what they did in the mid 90s.
That's why I like Cardi B. I'm not a fan of her music so much, but that's why I like Cardi B because she made it clear I am not here without Lil Kim. That's why Lil Kim said I'm passing you the torch. Cardi
Whereas
B,
Remy Martin is more of a throwback on the other level, where the
yeah,
ladies were rocking it out with jeans and Tims
yeah, yeah. She's more of the street person. Yeah,
and the bubble jackets and
and the
shit.
bubble. And y'all don't know about that. We taking y'all back right here, yo. So yeah,
The door knocker earrings.
and the
Yes,
colors, man.
sir.
Everybody had the different colors: the yellow, the green.
Absolutely.
Hey, don't hate. It can't hate on the '90s, man. The '90s was
I'm
a
convinced there were
whole.
only two people that were visible in the 90s with that Carolina Blue Tommy Hill bubble.
Yeah.
Funkmaster Flex and my older brother.
Oh,
But my older brother had a little run-in with LOD. Those were Keith Murray's guys.
I had a beef with Keith Murray on a Charlotte radio station, man.
Oh shit!
I
How did this
cussed
come?
his,
Look at
I cussed
this.
his big. Let me tell you what happened, man. We done turned this to a hip hop show. Welcome to the
Don't
crossover
worry.
show, ladies and gentlemen.
We're
But
gonna we're gonna get where we're going. We're gonna get
yeah,
where
we're
we're
gonna
going.
get
We
we're gonna
promise.
get there. Sometimes you gotta go around a few roads, a few mountains, and everything until you get to it. Go. Let me tell you what happened. Shout out to my man Eddie Owens. Used to be on Power 98 Charlotte, North Carolina. He was doing a show. It was called The Session. So I used to
Okay.
always call into the show. Yo, what up, Ed? What up, K Nice? Da da da. Chop it up. So one night he had Keith Murray in there, him and his boys. So I called and Ed like, yo, hold on just a second. I'm gonna put you on. I got Keith and them in the building. Da 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 da. So he had me on hold. So Keith Murray picked up the phone and said, who is? I said, yo, what's up? It's Bosco. He said, yo, Bosco, F you, nigga. And hung up. I called back into the show. I said, yo, Ed, man, what's up with your mans? He said, yo, man, I apologize. Da, da, da. So we weren't live. So, in the studio, you got the speaker. So Keith Murray, I said, "Oh, Keith, man, that was wrong what you did." He said, "Man, F you, bitch nigga." Da, da, da. I said, "You know what? I'm right here in Charlotte. I'm on the south side. I'll come right up to the station, bust your shit right now." So he said, "Well, come your ass up here." So I said, "Bet." So A got on the phone. And if you ever talk to Eddie Owens, you can message him on Power 98. Well, I don't know if he's on Power 98 right now, but look for Eddie Owens, Charlotte, North Carolina. You can ask him. Did a guy named Bosco for the Bronx come up there and say he's gonna bust Keith Murray's ass? I came up there, me and my homies, and my boy Ed said, "Yo, don't do this, man. Don't do this. Don't do this." He said, "Yo, go home." And I went home. I was gonna whoop Keith Murray's little ass up there.
That's
Keith
wild,
Murray, if
bro.
you listening to this show, it's me, nigga. My bad.
Unbelievable, bro. I literally am talking about something that my brother got a little static on back in Brentwood, the Brentwood wreck, bringing it back.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, a little static with LOD. Everything was all right. You remember Murray in the 90s, that was the beginning of the Sudafed era.
Oh,
Don't rate me, don't rate me, love LOD. I'm like, Murray, I don't care if you're not a member of the boroughs. That shit was a little soft.
That was soft, dude. That was soft.
Yes, it was. A far cry from some of his Def Squad teammates, because he had two of the best in the business in Redman and, of course, the incomparable Eric Sherman.
But think about Keith
That's
Murray.
Wild, Idris. I didn't even know this.
Dude,
they're talking about Keith Murray and his. What the hell?
Look here, dude. I've been around the bend, dude. And but the thing about it, I think Ed smoothed it out, because when I called back the next week, he said, "Yo, man, everything was good." I said, "No," I said, "Forget it, man. It's all right." But I'm still a fan of Keith Murray. I love his stuff, man.
Well, he might have been going. Who knows? I know he went through a personal time.
He got to join up right now with somebody. I forgot who, but he's.
I don't even know if this possibly runs into the time where he tragically lost his sister Christina. I don't know.
This was
90, he may have been in a bad place.
It was 97, I think. 97, 98.
Lines up to the time frame, possibly, or he was just feeling himself a little too much.
Yeah, he was. Like, I will kick your little ass, man.
Forgetting that producers also have boxing trophies.
Oh, no wonder he's a Gemini just like me. No wonder we got into it. I just looked him up.
All right.
6 days before my birthday. 10 days before my birthday.
Shouts out Keith Murray. Still one of my favorites from Long Island. That's wild.
I love Keith Murray, man. I love Keith Murray. I think his style. He had that real intellectual style that if you didn't understand the dictionary, you didn't know what the hell he was saying.
No, Murray was good. Where, as much as I hate to give R. Kelly praise, you can't take away his musical achievements.
Can't take away that. Can't take it away.
But when he was messing with some of the members of Def Squad, that was some good stuff. I mean, even the best of both worlds. As much as I don't care for a lot of the stuff that is coming to light now, even going back with Jay-Z and the whole Dame Dash drama, and really questioning what a brother's loyalty is supposed to look like.
Right.
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Knicks, they came to play today.
The Knicks. Yep.
Busting up the 11-game winning streak of the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs wore their throwbacks today.
Yeah.
Kind of like the David Robinson era.
Yeah.
Prior to when they went back to their ABA threads, which were more like the George Gervin, solid colors.
Yeah.
I'm talking more like Dave Robinson, Sean Elliott.
Yeah.
But at any rate, a hell of a game. This is one of those feel-good team wins where I actually don't think that Coach Mike Brown needed to even bring the starters back out for the final 10 minutes, and actually it was more like the final 8 minutes. I don't think he needed to do that.
Yeah.
But, a guy that I've scrutinized quite a bit on this show, Karl Anthony Towns.
Catman, yep.
He's not getting the same minutes he wants. Josh Hart dealt with this too, with rotational issues and wanting to get more minutes. Yeah. We're trying to figure out his certified role. Mm-hmm. Coach Brown is really starting to lurk around and find like, oh shit, we got some pieces here.
We do.
And the overall confidence of the team today from beyond the arc, even though they didn't shoot for the best percentage.
Yeah.
You want guys that want to take those shots. You want guys that believe they're going to make every shot they take.
Yeah, I agree. Landry Sham, I call him Sham Schmidt. He doesn't score, but he's out there on the floor. I like what we got because we can actually go into it. I mean, Kolek is not getting those minutes he used to get, but I'm thinking, I think me and you talked about it. I just don't think Mike Brown is showing his whole hand right now.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, I don't think he's showing his whole hand because we still got to get to the playoffs, and we know we got Boston who's playing like they're trying to kill somebody.
They're playing inspired basketball right now. Yeah, I watched a decent chunk of the Knicks, and I watched some of the Minnesota victory over Denver in large part because I had Anthony Edwards and Nikola Jokic on my ticket. Unfortunately, Edwards was 4 points shy of pushing me over. They were Edwards was having a hard time getting comfortable on offense today, but the Timberwolves did enough where second, third, fourth, fifth guys were really getting it in. So, Edwards showed a lot of maturity in that game to me because when you are the focal point of the offense most nights, and when guys are double teaming you and just frustrating you offensively, you can't let it get you out of the game of being a team player. And I think Anthony Edwards did a hell of a job of that today. And, Minnesota is one of those teams where they can be frustrating to watch because they have too many defensive lapses. But from a talent-based standpoint, this is a team that if they lock in, could definitely make a run.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I love my guy DiVincenzo. It still hurts seeing him in a different uniform, but
I know, man. Bring him home, man.
He's a juju, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I miss Julius Randle too.
I do too. Yeah, I do too, man. Yeah.
Speaking of Julius Randle, so another story time event here. So we're at the Magic game, circa what year was this? I'm gonna say 21.
Do we just need to have a story time show?
Derrick Rose, pregame warm-ups, puts up a heart right to Mama Eunice. As Mama Eunice was probably the loudest Knick fan in the building. I'm convinced that my mother was actually affecting the Orlando Magic free throws. Brett had the hookup. We're seventh row, got the lounge. This is pre-Jalen Brunson. Do you remember the Obi Toppin slam dunk contest in-game dunk against Orlando?
Yes.
We were in the building.
Oh, word.
Yes, sir. That game. It was the second game of the season where the Knicks broke a franchise record for most threes recorded in their history.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of fights in the crowd too.
Of course.
Not going to specify, but
of course.
Yeah, the Knicks. But this is Julius Randle, so we had access to the players coming out and whatnot.
Yeah.
And my mother, man, she wanted to really, really talk to Julius Randle. But this is kind of like coming off the COVID stuff, so I think Randle was a little still, can't get all close and all that.
Yeah.
But, high fiving RJ Barrett and the crew, Obi Toppin. It was cool, man. It was cool.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say, my mama cursed Obi Toppin out. That's what I was waiting for you to say because she didn't get the.
No, she was actually singing the praises of Fournier because that was before Knick fans realized why he ended up being in Tibbs' doghouse because he was playing the defense.
Play no defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Flaky like a croissant. But the thing is, his three was wet. He ended up breaking John Stark's single season 3 points made, which was a record that held up in the Knicks for quite some time. But man, John Starks was, if I think if he played in this era, he'd probably be a little more prolific behind the arc. It's a different era. But
that's the thing people don't realize. Stark was he was a good offensive player, good defensive player. And he set that record. You would think someone like Allen Houston might have said it. Right.
And a little more offensive friendly driven time. But I mean, even Melo, the way Melo shot.
Yeah, but see, with Starks playing such a physical era, and he still put those type of 3-point numbers up.
Yes, indeed.
Imagine this, and people don't realize. People in this era say, no. You guys don't realize how hard it was to get up a shot. You were molested every night. You were elbowed. You were all that stuff. You had to find your shot.
Yeah,
Which
definitely a
A, you got
different
to
era in the
remember.
NBA, and it's, according to the ratings, it's the best era in the history of the NBA.
I think, and I don't think there'll be an era like that because the league is full. The league is losing viewership. People are tired of this, tired of that. I say scrap the rules, go back to the '90s rule, but not to where you can clothesline people like they do.
Not to reckless like Bill Laimbeer clotheslining Kurt Rambis.
Right, just have
Where
it
in
to where
today's NBA that would be such a rare sight because it looks like two guys that work at Home Depot attacking each other.
right
But
have it to where you can bang in the paint. You can you can body up, you can hand check. You just can't be doing no just grabbing and punching. You just can't do that.
well, it's been said on this show as well as anywhere that loves basketball. But Steph Curry made his mark.
Mm-hmm.
The son of a really good 3-point shooter, but people will
Oh,
forget Dell because of how phenomenal his kid is beyond the arc. You've
yeah,
said this, I've said this, we've said this. Steph Curry in the 90s is Abdul Mahmoud Rauf,
it sure
aka
is.
formerly Chris Jackson.
That's it. That's him for real.
And I'm not shitting on Curry. Curry has made his mark. He's a champion. He's a winner. He's a great team player. What I'm trying to say is that in that era, he ain't finishing around the rack the way he is in this era.
No, no. I think he'll still do
Because
great because he got great handles and he can fire.
he's got a great basketball acumen.
But he's not
We
going
knew
to
that at
pull up.
Davidson.
Yeah. He's just not going to pull up because back then they would guard like a guy like Kobe would guard you. And even Curry said this. Curry said he hated when Kobe guarded him because by the time he got off the shot, he was tired because Kobe was on you 90 feet,
Oh,
94 feet.
maybe mom still isn't over this exactly. Maybe she still has a bone to pick.
What's up?
Juju didn't speak to me. She's like, good. That's why when they did that little breaking ground thing, they traded him 48 hours later.
I told you it was more to that story.
I mean, come on now. You didn't think a Puerto Rican mother of 3 and a grandmother of many was gonna let that slide.
That's the reason why I said she didn't cuss him out. I knew it was more. Hey, look, I'm from the Bronx. We got nothing but Puerto Rican. My brothers had Puerto Rican. Trust me. I knew something was under there. I knew something was there.
So, what are your thoughts right now, Idris, in terms of the stretch run for the NBA? How do you feel about our Knicks? More so, how do you feel about the whole landscape of the league going into the final stretch here? Who do you consider legitimate title contenders?
I think the ones in first place, in first, second, third, fourth place.
I think that's a pretty solid answer.
Yeah, I think the best teams are actually where they're supposed to be. That's
yes.
It's not me just giving you a default answer, but I think the 4 best teams in each conference are the 4 best teams who will challenge for the title. I mean, an upset can happen at any time, but in the East, with New York, Boston, Detroit, and Cleveland, I think.
Who didn't exactly look terrific today against the Nets.
No, they ain't look good.
Cleveland sometimes it happens. You play down to lovely competition.
Cleveland might be the one that might be the weakest, but in the 4th place. But they might be the weakest. But I think the top 4 teams in each conference are the best of the best.
Yeah, I share your sentiments on that. The Celtics, it's a championship pedigree that we've seen in the absence of Jason Tatum. Do I think it holds up in a 7-game series? I'm not sure. But I'm not going to sell them short, given their playoff acumen, their playoff history, what they've been through.
Yeah.
And when you play for another player, and you're a team-centric, they have a lot of unselfish guys in that Boston locker room. You got to give them props.
That's Boston. That's Boston basketball, man.
And I personally think that that's a huge reason why the Celtics, have been more consistent than the Knicks. But to be fair, first-year head coach in New York, former head coach, former assistant. It's going to take time. But right now, I believe that if we cross paths, the one team that I'm legitimately worried about, as I should be, I mean, we know who they are. Motor City.
Motor City Madness, yeah. Yep, that's it. I feel we can beat Cleveland. I feel we can beat Boston. We prove we can beat Boston. just feel Detroit is a team. Detroit is a team. I won't lie. I hope someone knocks them off or takes them to a 7-game series to win. If should we get to that final, because we wouldn't see them unless we got to the no, we're in third. So, well, yeah, it depends on what happens with Boston. But I would no hate against Detroit, but I'm rooting for my team. I do want someone to knock them off because Detroit is a tough team.
I'll be honest. If we don't win the Atlantic Division, while I'll be the first to admit that I see it as a bit of an underachievement,
Yeah,
I try to look at when most of the losses occurred. And if most of the losses occurred in the NBA's first half, it doesn't feel the same because truthfully, we proved it last year.
Yeah,
that bullying a team and beating on a team in the regular season doesn't mean a whole lot in the beginning of the summer.
Right.
And the Knicks did that. And anybody who wants to say, "Oh, Jason Tatum because of the injury," guys, that was an elimination game, and the Knicks were well on their way.
Yeah,
it was horrible what happened to Tatum. He's a good kid. I hate to see it happen to anyone, even though Portnoy wants to be a nice guy and then he wants to be a douchebag.
Yeah,
I'm calling him out because I didn't care for his bullshit, wishing injury on OG Anunoby and others. Like, come on, bro, do better.
That's classic, dude. That's classless. That's Bush League. That's classless.
Yeah, and while I might have a lot of vengefulness for the teams themselves, I do have a legitimate respect for those franchises in Boston, whether they be the Patriots, whether they be the Celtics, whether they be the Bruins. Even though the Red Sox are the Yankees' main rival, but I do respect their organization.
And see, that's how and I'm pretty sure Boston fans feel the same way. Of course, do we want a star player to be healthy to play? Of course not. We don't want them to play. But we're not sitting here saying
you don't want it to be like a earth-shattering injury that ends people, like the way D Rose or a Penny Hardaway. And before we get on the boxing spec of this, Idris, I'm a little disappointed in New York Yankees media as well as some of the fans. I've noticed that this CC Sabathia jersey retirement has been incredibly scrutinized.
It was,
and it's kind of bugging me out because when you consider how many lefties in the history of pitching in MLB have accomplished what CC has, it's a very short list. Now, I understand he's not a farmhand Yankee. He's not a born Yankee. He was a Cleveland Indian that had a cup of coffee in Milwaukee. Yes, sir. And then he came over to us and immediately helped us win our most recent world title going back to 2009 and got us really close the very next year against a Ranger team, the next time that we were close to winning a championship.
Yeah.
But, over 3,000 Ks, more years played in the Bronx than in any other place. He was 9 years in Cleveland.
Right.
I don't get it. Like, okay, so for instance, you have a statue of Michael Jordan in Chicago.
Freaking Miami retired Jordan's number, and Jordan never played in Miami.
Yeah, the point I'm getting at is like, so if you're not as great as Michael Jordan, that means that there's no day for Scottie Pippen or Derrick Rose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand that this is an organization where you have, say, let's talk about the pitchers for a second. And most people feel that the two greatest pitchers in Yankee history is a closer and a starter: Whitey Ford, Mariano Rivera.
Yep.
If Roger Clemens wasn't linked to all the PEDs, would he be accepted more in Yankee lore, similar to the way that Alex Rodriguez deals with it, how it's been a never-ending debate on if 13 should be retired, because he did win multiple MVPs, and he showed up in October in 2009 to get the monkey off his back and finally win a World Series. I'm disappointed with Yankee fans because, listen, I absolutely love Phil Rizzuto. But was Phil Rizzuto a beneficiary on playing phenomenal teams? On phenomenal teams? Of course he was.
Of course he was. Those teams.
Don Mattingly is the only captain that didn't win a championship, and he's also, very controversially, still not in the Hall, nor is Munson in the Hall. Munson obviously won two,
Munson as being in the Hall, dude.
As being the heir apparent to Reggie on those late 70s teams. But the thing, Munson, it's an egregious joke that Munson isn't in the Hall.
Munson and Donnie Baseball should be in. With
and
CC,
and even though Mattingly's my favorite, I think Munson has more merit than Mattingly. And that's just being fair.
Yeah. Munson, had he not been tragically killed, Munson would have went down as one of those Yankees that you say, tell me a great New York Yankee, not named
right
or whatever.
Right.
He was that guy.
You know how Yogi is always on the fringe of the top 5 and where I think he gets sold short? Because as much as I love Derek Jeter, I think Jeter should not be in the top 5. I think he should be just after Yogi or just after Joe D. If people value Yogi more.
Yeah, I agree. And with CC, I look at it with CC. CC was a Yankee. CC loved the Yankees. CC is a Yankee. Yes, he spent more time on. CC is a Yankee. Period. He talks about the Yankees. CC says, I'm a Yankee. The man's a Yankee. Let this man have his flowers.
It just bugs me out. It really bugs me out because, certain friends of mine have said on social media how retiring numbers lost its luster. And then I'm looking at the list of the guys because he put every single player. And I didn't jump into it because I don't like to shit on people's opinions if it's not something too ridiculous. And it's not. It's just another fan's opinion. And a fan who I respect who knows his shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like looking at it and I'm like, well, which of these retirees don't belong?
Right.
Not everybody's going to be Babe Ruth. Or not everybody's going to be Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, but it doesn't mean that they don't deserve their day. Or they don't deserve to be immortalized.
Yeah.
Don Mattingly's a rare case because he never won a world championship and only made the playoffs once. Would have made the playoffs at least twice if the 94 strike doesn't happen, We know the story. Hangs on a couple of years longer. He's got a couple of rings.
Yeah.
But he carried that organization in an era where he was the only shining light in a very dysfunctional time in Yankee baseball. So he deserved what he got.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve not getting a ring, but he deserved getting the acknowledgments. And for a 5-year period, you can make a legitimate argument that Don Mattingly was the best player in baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it above.
Baseball. So
CC Sabathia was the best lefty in baseball for a long time, and people need to get off this nonsense.
Dominant lefty. The Big Cat was a dominant lefty.
And a real Yankee, because he didn't take no shit. He'll throw at somebody if he felt things weren't going right on the other side.
And just walk away like, I did it.
Yeah, he had that characteristic similar to a Bob Gibson. And I remember it cost him a bonus because he didn't finish a game and he was a couple of innings away. So nobody's going to tell me about CC's character. Not to mention that when he had his battles with alcohol addiction, he didn't hide it and he didn't run away. He handled it like a man.
Like a man. Leave that man alone.
And he's in better shape now.
Oh, yeah, he looks good now.
He was a hefty lefty. He's lost a lot of weight taking the stress off those knees.
He's like 300.
He's a big dude, bro.
Yeah.
I think the only two Yankees, and don't quote me on this, but it's just going off of logic.
Yeah.
I think the only two New York Yankees that had more pinstripes in terms of their girth of, their physique was Babe Ruth and Cecil Fielder.
I forgot Cecil Fielder.
Cecil Fielder got one. He caught a ring in '96.
Yeah, I like Cecil. The thing about all three of them, they always drinkers.
Hell yeah.
Like, Ruth.
Hey, man.
Ruth turned him up, but Ruth would turn him up and come to the field.
Before Josh Beckett ruined it for everybody, it was a big part of baseball culture.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about your DNA. We're going to talk about your DNA and your culture now.
Let's go.
Fight game, Idris.
Yes,
what
sir.
you got?
Here we go. We got a lot going on. In the welterweight division. As you know, Ryan Garcia, King Ryan, defeated Mario Barrios. Unanimous decision. Wasn't even close. First knockdown, first 30 seconds of the fight. The division is deep because as everyone knows, King Ryan will fight anybody, anywhere. That's what makes him a good fighter. That's why I like him. That's why he's one of my favorite fighters. But that welterweight division is pretty damn thick with fighters. So I feel a lot can happen if these guys want to fight. But that's the problem. They don't want to fight. You got Devin Haney, world champion, #1 ranked, beat by Garcia. The PED things. But Garcia said, okay, let's do it again. But he doesn't want to fight Haney. Haney doesn't want to fight him again.
I tend to agree.
You got Brian Norman. Next one up, he fought Haney this a couple months ago, close decision. United decision, say my bad. Of course, you got Riley. Riley beat Ricky. I'm about to call him Ricky Hatton. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. Ryan Garcia. It was pretty one sided. You got Manny Pacquiao. He's still ranked. And he could beat anybody.
As he should be, because his most recent fight was a railroad deal. He should have won that fight.
He won that fight.
Unanimously should have won that fight. It's the first time that I saw a Pac-Man fight where I thought he got jobbed by the judges.
Yeah, and you got
to fight long enough, especially with the value of it, doesn't make enough sense to put the W on him. Obviously, unless you're living under a rock, him and Money May are getting it on Netflix.
Yeah, and then you got the junior welterweight, which is 7 pounds lighter, and Ricky. I keep wanting to call him Ricky Hatton. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. Ryan Garcia was like, "Hey, let's go, Shakur." 7. He said, "Look, but I'm not doing no catch weight. We're gonna fight. I'm not dropping my weight to fight you. We're gonna fight."
Yeah, he's not gonna meet him all the way. They're gonna have to meet halfway somewhere with Shakur Stevenson. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got Teofimo Lopez is right there. You got Keyshawn Davis. I mean, so there's a lot of fight. Cause Tank Davis, Javante. My opinion, I think he's toast.
And the other part of it is I don't think that the Roach fight was judged properly.
Yeah.
Going back to that. Hell, even if we want to talk about some egregious judge decisions, we could even take it back a couple of presidential terms with Triple G and Canelo.
Ooh, that was a robbery.
But what I want to know is, I know Canelo's coming off the loss, the big loss to Crawford. We know all about it. But this is my thing.
Yeah.
When is David Benavidez going to be able to fight Canelo? I mean, come on, man.
Canelo is not going to fight him.
I hate it. And this is what frustrates me with the sweet science, is that in Ali's era, for the heavyweights, Foreman, Holmes,
they will fight.
Frazier.
They're fighting each other.
Yes, sir.
They're fighting each other. They're like, look, I'm gonna beat. They
Sonny Liston.
They fought each other. Not only did they fight each other, they fought each other multiple times. They did not run.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Big
George.
Big George fights you anywhere, anytime. No matter what.
George, even in his 40s, took a few L's to guys that we know he was better than. It's just they got him at the right time. But the thing, even a guy like Tyson.
Yeah.
Where his skills clearly were eroding. Because I'll tell you, it's not the rape case. It's not Robin Givens. It's not that asshole Don King.
Right.
And no disrespect to the late, great Cus D'Amato. It's not even him.
Right.
It's pre-Teddy. It's during Teddy Atlas and post-Teddy Atlas. Because post-Teddy Atlas, Mike Tyson was eating a lot of leather in Japan.
Thank you. I try to tell somebody that. You nailed it.
Because Teddy Atlas was an extension of Cus that knew how to push Mike the right way.
Yep.
And the killer instinct flat out was gone. The final bit of whatever killer instinct he had, I'll call it animalistic, not even killer, was that egregious stuff that Tyson pulled in the second Holyfield fight.
Yeah.
Because Evander, and don't get me wrong, Evander was fighting a little dirty, and I'll call it out. But the point is that Tyson disgraced himself that night. And, the personal demons came out. He got banned for over a year. And then when he came back, he had nothing left, unfortunately.
Yeah, he wasn't the same fighter.
No, he was not. And I'm not going to say incarceration didn't have an effect on that. I'd be ignorant to say that. But I think that when Tyson came out of jail, he was able to beat the mid-tier guys, like the Frank Brunos of the world. the Bruce Seldons of the world. But when he got it on with legendary guys that were already on the trajectory of legendary, along with Tyson, prior to his incarceration, that's where Mike was not that guy anymore. And I would have loved to see him get his hands on Holyfield or Lennox Lewis during that era prior to the Desiree Washington conviction. So I guess I have to say, yeah, of course the incarceration had to do with it. But in terms of skill level preparation, it
Yeah.
had so much to do with Teddy Atlas.
Yeah, I agree. And with Benavidez, I feel he's one of my favorite fighters also. And when it comes to the big guys, he's my dude. And
I love Benavidez.
Yeah, he's been calling Canelo out for and I think after Terrence Crawford beating Canelo, I don't think Canelo's going to get it. I know he's not going to go after Benavidez. I know he's not.
No.
I know he's not.
Because Terrence Crawford really surprised a lot of people. I don't think he necessarily surprised you. He surprised me a little more than you because I thought Canelo was going to find a way to win the fight. I think you picked Crawford, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, by unanimous decision. Yep. I knew he was going to beat him.
Yeah, see that's the difference between a fight fan and a former fighter.
Yeah, I knew he was going to beat him.
Yeah, I was like, and you're not even saying it in a cocky way. You're just saying it in like, it's like my father when the Giants would lose a bad playoff game.
Yeah.
And my dad would take off his Green Bay hat and be worried about my emotional state. And he'd be like, Richie, it's all right. You guys had a good year. Your final game is not indicative of the kind of year you had. Talking like a coach.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna be fuck. Get him next time. Fuck off. Yeah, you were right. Like when the Ravens kicked the shit out of us.
You get him next time.
Yeah.
No, I want to win this time.
Well, like when my father was like, Strahan's a future Hall of Famer. He ought to be ashamed of himself punching Keith Hamilton. What the hell are these knuckleheads doing? Is anybody going to guard? Chris Carter?
Your father was a New Yorker.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
New Yorker.
My father's favorite fighter
in
the heavyweight division was actually Frazier back in that era.
Really?
He loved Joe Frazier, bro.
Dude, I was Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is who made me want to box. Sugar Ray Leonard is who made me box.
Sugar Ray was my favorite in that middleweight with all the kings.
Yeah, the
Hagler, Hearns, Duran.
Yeah.
Donnie Lalonde thought he was a king until Sugar Ray told him, not yet.
Not yet.
Not ever.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet, not ever.
Not ever. Yeah, so
oh man.
I was a big Ali dude. Before I started boxing, I was Ali shuffling. I was doing all that, and then my uncle said, "Hey, come on with me," and I like bet. So we going down to Manhattan. We get on the train talking. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna introduce you to Floyd Patterson." So I'm all hyped, like, "Oh shit, Floyd Patterson."
That was a great fighter. That was a phenomenal fighter.
Now I'm not knowing what's going on. I get there. And I'm, he said, get online. So I'm thinking we getting online. Now this is just like the military thing. Now I'm 15 years old. Get ready to 16. I'm online. Get up there. He call me up there. Because you had to sign in. He said, take off your shirt, and I'm like, huh? He said, take off your shirt, take off your pants. You got anything under there? I said, I got on my shorts. He said, take off your shirt. There. He put me behind me, weighed me. Right there. I was like 155, something like that. And I'm like, yo, what's up? He said, that's when Floyd Patterson came out. And he said, you want to fight too? And I'm like, I don't know. What's going on? And my uncle said he wants to be a boxer. And that's how I met Floyd Patterson, because he was the commissioner of, amateur boxing at the time. And I was like, oh, and that was how I started boxing, just like that. Just like that. And I studied Sugar Ray Leonard. I studied him to a T. But yeah, I think that's one of those eras. Like someone asked me the other day, will there ever be an era like the Four Kings? I said no, because today these guys don't want to fight each other.
And that's the robbery that boxing fans get, is because these guys are more worried about preserving O's on their record than they are, because it's similar to professional wrestling in one regard. If you put on a phenomenal match, it doesn't matter whose hands get raised. I mean, Hulk Hogan had a hard time understanding that most of his career. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
Right. I agree.
Noah said on who?
You said what?
Noah, I'm explaining to Uncle Idris that there's a there's a similarity between boxing and professional wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in Hogan's case, you know, he wasn't about to getting the L.
Yeah.
And
What
a
I
lot of
would
these
do,
boxers are in the same way trying to preserve their record. But, you know, I get it. You know, I get it. There's levels to it. Like if you're the heavyweight champion of the world and you're aging, do you want to fight the most ferocious killer at the
right,
very end when
right,
there's CTE linked to that sport and other things? I understand that. I do.
right.
But I'm talking about like when you're both in your prime and,
Yeah,
you're ducking and dodging, that's where the sport gets hurt. And that's why UFC is where they are.
right. Because these guys are getting in. These guys are UFC. I'm not a big UFC guy, but I give them props because those guys get in the ring. It's no duckings. You got to get in there and fight for that title. It's insane. And these guys today, and I ask anyone who watches boxing, if you want to see fighters, go watch Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward, 1, 2, or 3. Either one you want
Bro,
to watch.
if I didn't know who you were, I would
Yeah.
have literally said that is the same friggin' thing that Brett Bandick, our guy, would have said. Because Brett
Mm-hmm.
is a big fight fan too. Well, not
Oh,
as
I
much as
know
he
that.
used to, because Brett has lost a lot of love for the sport as a
Yeah.
fan because of what we're talking about right now.
Understandable. Yeah.
But Brett talking about the glory days of just like rock'em sock'em fights,
Yeah.
Arturo Gatti, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Mickey Ward, that was legendary stuff.
That was the last man standing. And they went
Mhm.
all 12 rounds, all 3 fights. Those guys went the first
36
one
rounds of just
war
absolute punishment.
punishment.
Now in the ladies, how do you feel right now about the ladies circuit? How do you feel about what's going on there?
To be honest with you, I'm Alicia, the bomb Baumgartner. I think I mean I know Clarissa Shields got all this, all that. I'm not gonna count her Olympic stuff because that has nothing to do with the professional game.
I agree.
I think with her, I think she's a great boxer. I'm not gonna take nothing away. But the level of competition she's faced is so compared to Alicia Baumgartner, it's not top notch. It just isn't. When you're fighting women who are 6-0, who hadn't fought in 2 years or 3 years, or fighting women who are 8-0 or 8-2, they hadn't fought in 3 years and they're 44 years old, I'm not feeling it. And with her, she's very skillful, very skillful. Not gonna take none of her skills away from me. You know, people gonna say, "Oh, you're hating." No, the girl is mad skillful. But when you only knock out 3 women in your career in 19 fights, and you fought competition that anyone can say, "Yeah, that girl right there probably couldn't fight her out of a paper bag." That's when you question to when you go to Alicia Baumgartner, aka the Bomb, the prettiest woman in boxing, who also called Clarissa Shields out before Clarissa Shields moved up in weight. She said, "Look, I may be 135, 140, but I will move up to 150 if you come down." Clarissa
Which is a
Shields moved up.
reasonable request.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes said the same thing. If you want to come fight me, I'll fight you.
Amanda Nunes is all heart.
My goal is Amanda Nunes. 7 divisions won. She got titles in the freaking UFC. The girl has done everything. Her only loss has been Katie Taylor, and all 3 were robberies. Period. So right now, I'm going with Alicia Baumgartner. I need to see Clarissa Shields get in there with a fighter who can actually fight.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on at least one of those not being a robbery. I think it's a weird matchup because I feel that Amanda Nunes.
The second one I call a draw.
Nunes.
The second is a draw.
Amanda Nunes is the more skilled fighter.
Yeah.
But I believe that where Katie Taylor won those fights was playing, if it was a basketball analogy, bully ball.
Yeah, I can roll with that. I can roll with that.
Taking a couple of shortcuts with, similar to what I said at the top of the boxing segment, revisiting Holyfield Tyson, not just in fight 2 where all the crazy shit happened, but even in fight 1.
Yeah.
Because you also got to understand too, and you got to understand, you're the fighter here in the family here.
No, I got you though.
Figure of speech. Figure of speech.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is like a southpaw also provides a long list of other things
problems
for traditional.
Yes,
you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Problems.
And
because you fight the guy coming at you backwards. It's like you fighting the mirror.
because the crazy thing about southpaws in the fight game is that, let's say if you have a lefty that might not have as much talent as the righty,
Mm-hmm.
if you master certain aspects of being a southpaw fighter, particularly from the defensive side of it, where everything is like mirror, so to speak. So you're not going to see a certain uppercut coming. You're not going to see a certain hook coming. It's a different kind of element
Right
where
on, right on,
southpaws are very scary.
right on, right on.
Now, for a boxing fan and not the actual boxer, so to speak, would that be a fair analogy?
That's a perfect analogy because that was
All right.
that's the thing I had with the advantage of a lot of fighters because I'm a southpaw, but I'm right-handed, but I fought out of southpaw. So
It's like
southpaw.
the same way. It's like the same way I speak about it
Mm-hmm.
if I'm talking about hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm a loving visitor. I'm not. I don't feel that I'm hip hop because
No, no, man.
I didn't
Yeah,
do graffiti. I didn't do breakdancing.
but you know what?
I
No,
didn't
no, no.
scratch.
You don't have to. Because hip hop is culture. You don't have to do any of the things in hip hop. You can love hip hop and be part of the culture. No, you're part of the culture. You're not a visitor, dude. You ain't no
But it's
visitor.
different levels. I think what I'm trying to say is different levels too.
Yeah, it's like with
Because
me.
if you're talking about you, you're there for the birth.
Yeah, but see, with me, I was a performer within the culture to help build to where you can be part of the culture because you grew up in the culture and you live the culture. So nah, you're not a visitor. You're hip hop culture because see, you know your shit. A lot of people who call themselves hip hop don't even know anything. I've heard you talk more hip hop than a lot of people say, yeah, I'm hip hop. Well, name this guy. You know the beats and stuff. You said stuff. I'm like, damn, I didn't know he knew that. So no, you're not a visitor. And if anybody call you a visitor, they're wrong. You came up in the culture. You know the culture. You was around the culture.
And
So no,
I credit it to my older brother because
yeah, but no, you no visitor.
the,
You
the,
know
the
the
truth
culture.
is my older brother
Mm-hmm.
put me onto so many aspects of it as to why I have a profound love for the art. I would
Yeah.
say my older brother Adam, who you haven't met yet, but you will meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I would say that he's the one who put me on for my love of hip hop. And what's funny is, with Adam being the family guy he is, firefighter,
Yeah.
father of two,
Mm-hmm.
husband, da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's like he goes in and out. So like
Mm-hmm.
if we're at his house and you got the big ass the speakers over the pool,
Mm-hmm.
nice hookup, like you know what year it is when you're
Yeah.
in his house.
Right. Right
But
on.
like if
Right
I
on.
if, I- if I bring to him some of the new stuff that's going on, because you have a podcast and we dive into hip hop, so of course we talk about things that are going on now too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like his guy for that. He's like, what? Like he's like, what? Like stuff that he you know wouldn't be privy to.
I look at it this way, man. A person who knows a culture, grew up in the culture, and knows a culture is not a visitor. Like I don't. I mean, I know Eminem called himself a visitor with Lord Jamal, and Lord Jamal's a knucklehead. Period. He sold out anyway, like last year, because he started doing the booty stuff. Lord Jamal's a clown.
I
I
remember that.
respect
Yes.
it. I'm not a big Eminem fan. I like him, but what I respect about Eminem because he respected the culture. He always gave reverence to Rakim, KRS One, Nas. He
That
always say
man.
these guys led me to be like when he made Rap God. He said, "I'm the Rap God because these guys birthed me."
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. That's one thing that I will credit him
Mm-hmm.
over a lot of others. I think Nas has done a good job of, especially on his victory lap. And I don't mean no slight to Nipsey Hussle. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
figure of speech.
Yeah.
But rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. But
Mm-hmm.
but when I was saying about with Nas is that where he's running the lane, so to speak,
Yeah.
gets back with DJ Premier
Yeah.
and his time with Hit Boy, where he was putting out different volumes of King's Disease, Magic.
Yeah.
Um,
Now listen to y'all. Listen to this man. He's names and stuff y'all probably don't even know anything about. This guy is not a visitor. This guy is hip hop.
I
Go
appreciate
ahead.
that.
Go ahead,
When
man.
when uh when Nas came up, you know, Illmatic is people forget Illmatic is a cult classic before it was
Very much.
anything that had to do. It was written is what really
Yeah.
was selling.
Yeah. because at
You look
halftime,
at Reasonable Doubt.
yep,
Jay-Z came into the game with money.
yeah,
A lot of people that were just catching on to Big L, unfortunately, was after he was murdered with the Big Picture. Because that
yeah,
was a tight album considering that it was posthumous.
yeah, yeah.
But Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, that
Woo.
had everybody shaking in their boots,
Every
running for the ever elusive crown of King of New York, whether you're talking Raekwon, whether you're talking Nas, whether you're talking Jigga, whether you're
yes,
talking Notorious
yeah,
B.I.G., who held it down in a different way. He brought the East back. That was
yeah,
a fact. That really
yeah.
happened.
He did. Yep, he did.
But, these were guys that were vying for the crown. Of course, I can't forget about DMX.
Uh huh.
I think people are understanding how great Jadakiss is now
Yeah.
because the one thing that 50 was right about when they were beefing, and it's the only thing he was right about, was that he wasn't selling records like him
Right.
because this as well as anybody with the bullshit you have to deal with radio
Hmm.
is that they are it's like robotic with what they got to put out and how many times a day they got to play it, and it's very political.
It is. It really is.
Lupe Fiasco fell victim to that as one of my favorite MCs, but he fell victim to the industry and industry politics, and he never really wanted to put out the Lasers album the way it was presented.
Hmm.
I also think he didn't do himself any favors when he's name dropping Obama at the Democratic convention. That's another whole
Yeah.
nother story there.
You gotta leave. Yeah, you gotta keep that out of it. Keep
Indeed,
that out.
indeed. But you got to play ball too. I get it. You got to play ball. But when I think about what Nas has done now, I
Mm-hmm.
still think to a level. So what drives him
Hmm.
is that when Jay-Z flat out said that nobody could stand on the stage with me in a verses,
Yeah.
I think you really got to check for the ears because it depends who's standing there.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Because
And and I'm
me
not I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan, but
right.
Lil Wayne's catalog, if it's for the right fan base, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised that he could possibly stand up to Jay-Z.
And that's it. Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel that with Nas, um, I'm not gonna put Nas as the greatest MC of all time. But God, Nas has got to be up there in the top 5 because
No
his
question,
longevity
because
is
of
insane.
it's like the Tom Brady argument in sports.
Hmm. Yeah, his longevity is insane, dude.
And I hate
You
to
know,
say it because he ain't my favorite, but even LeBron.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. I think, that's why I can't say who's the greatest MC because I think it depends on what you like. Like a lot of people say rap, rap, rap. I don't listen to rap. I listen to hip hop, rock and
Yeah, because there's
R&B.
different lanes to it. Because I'll give you an example. Guys that unfortunately probably got forgotten about, but should be revered in the same light as, say, the late Fife Dog and Q-Tip.
Yeah, yeah,
Talking about two guys that everybody has completely forgotten about.
yeah.
Camp Low,
Oh man, and you say you're a visitor,
Uptown Saturday Night.
Luciani? What? You ain't no visitor.
Uptown
You ain't no
Saturday Night.
Uptown
I
Saturday
don't
Night.
care. I don't care what people think. I put that in my top 10.
I love that. I love that album, man. Luciano, man,
Criminal
that
Minded from Boogie Down Productions
Moving
belongs in
Divided.
anyone's top 10.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think with
Here
albums
Comes
like
the Kane, Big Daddy Kane. There's no
that,
Jay-Z
yep.
without no Big Daddy Kane. I don't care. That's a
I
fact.
think that's why I say with you got some artists like let's just say Public, you say Chuck D and Public Enemy. Now you may not put them in your top 5, top 10. Okay, cool, that's understandable.
Because the art evolves, just like the athletes evolve.
Right? But the way I look at it is you got certain groups that grant like Public Enemy. If you're gonna say, okay, name an album in history that was very influential in the whole, like you say, Public Enemy's In Fear of a Black Planet.
Yes, indeed.
You
And
got
I
albums
got
like that, and like you said
yes,
about,
indeed.
you say like Uptown Saturday Night. You say about Criminal Minded. But these are albums you say, okay, the album Carrot's one. I'm up there. He's in my top 3 actually. But these are the albums that basically the world heard about. Now, Lil Wayne, I'm not gonna take nothing from Lil Wayne, but if you say what album had more of an impact on society in the full, I'm going in Fear of Black Planet.
No,
Over
I
Lil Wayne.
tend to agree. I think the reason why I would bring up an artist like a Lil Wayne is because in order to beat Jay-Z on a stage like a Versus,
Yeah,
you need to have those hits on the mainstream appeal too.
you have to.
And that's where a guy like Jadakiss, like I said, the only thing that Fifth was right about, because
Yeah.
Fifth couldn't hold Jada's jock on anything lyrically. Because
Nope.
I'm gonna share an unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to go there. And a lot of it is because of an untimely tragic death. But if we go back to the original Bad Boy roster,
Oh,
and
I know where you're
I'm
going.
gonna be honest, Jadakiss is greater than Christopher Wallace. And I
I
have
can roll with that.
nothing negative to say about Christopher Wallace because his impact was so highly intense. And as much as I can't stand Sean Combs the human, Sean Combs was a genius.
He was. He was. He really was. He really was. He really was for real. It's just like Suge Knight.
He untapped something, and like Jadakiss said in the "We'll Always Love Big Papa" tribute, he dude brought the East back. You better believe that.
Yeah.
What he meant by that was that you had many that were capable.
Yeah.
But what Biggie did, and who do I liken Biggie to? I mean, you can go into reggae with a lot of Jamaican roots, but I
Mm-hmm.
also put certain stuff on Biggie with the influence of a guy like a Heavy D, or even taking it far back like the Fat Boys, because he made it cool to
Yeah.
be a heavy dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I mean that's why when people say who was the greatest rapper, I said for me, I can't say. I go by
My answer is
influence.
easy. My answer is easy, but it's also an emotional answer.
Yours
It's
is
always going to be Rakim.
Rakim, yeah. But see, with Rakim, I don't put him in that class. Because Rakim is one of them guys. Rakim is, if I had to say who's the greatest, I'm putting Rakim.
What is your favorite Rakim album? I'm just curious.
Oh man, that's hard. Woo, probably Follow the Leader.
See, I have no issue with that answer. But for me, because of the age disparity with you and I,
Mm-hmm.
because you could essentially be my father,
Right, pretty
I
much.
would go with the 18th letter.
Oh man, you hold up. I made a mistake, man. I think I got a headache. I'm going with the 18th. I
Bro,
forgot about
you,
that
you,
album.
you know what does it for me?
Yeah.
Who is God?
Oh man. With me, hold up. I got it. Hold up.
Wyan Dance, Long Island, Rakim, the greatest rapper alive. And when he
You know what?
eventually perishes, the
I
greatest
got
rapper ever, regardless.
um you know what? Who was God is dope. Dang, that album.
The Seventh Seal was also pretty hard. But I mean, Follow the Leader is iconic for so many reasons. And I
You know
want to go
what
back to
song?
Public Enemy for a second.
Uh-huh.
Because you know how the West loved to say that New York was biting them?
Yeah.
There ain't no NWA without Public Enemy.
Nope.
And Public Enemy put it in an eloquent way, in a
Mm-hmm.
much more cerebral way. And I'm not saying that NWA was dumbing it down, but NWA, with all due respect, with the exception of the late, great Easy E, there were a lot of studio G's in there.
Yep. On the album, the 18th letter, I'm gonna go with 18th letter because of this. Just when things seem the same, the whole scene is lame. I come arraigned to unexplained for brains to maintain. It's strain to sling. I train to bring game. It's the I rearranged. Been a regained like King James. Go to practice with tactics, with track hits, with the actors. Women are like actors with status with Cleopatra. Stacks of mathematics to feed your Asiatics as I find out
Mm.
factors for geographics. I'm not done. Hold on. My favorite, excuse me. My favorite line on that is since the world metamorphosis, the whole planet is kept in orbit. Turntables we spin, arc whip, and needles never skip off it. Rhythms we express is similar to our ancestors. I'll explain to you the questions if you understand the message. The 18th Letter is my favorite Rakim album. I forgot about that album. I don't know why. I
And
forgot
you know
about
what's
the
even
album.
more wild? You were in attendance. And I remember you went
Yes,
live on your IG. And this is when you and I just became
we
friends.
still became friends. Yeah,
And
dude,
you were there. And
right
I
in his
literally I
face.
had Jen, dude, I had Jen sitting next to me over my shoulder.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna rock with Idris's IG as long as he's live because we're getting a free concert here. Bro, I
I
hooked
didn't
up
know.
my phones. Bro, I hooked up my phone to the Bose.
Yeah,
It sounded like Rakim was hanging out in my living room.
dude, I still got all those videos, man. I still got all those videos, dude.
And I
I
mean, shit, bro.
lost.
Know the ledge, even on his feature for the Juice movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it a step further with his profound influence on hip hop, the
yeah,
whole culture in general.
yeah,
If Rakim doesn't slam that track,
yeah.
the Bishop character of Tupac Shakur, which Timbaland made a massive amount of money for those
Mm-hmm.
special tips.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
That whole Tupac takeoff doesn't happen because Tupac's takeoff happened on the silver screen before it happened
Yeah.
in Living Color, Arsenio Hall,
Yep.
Death Row Records, or even before, which was and his most real album of who he was as a human was Me Against the World.
Yeah.
His
I
most
agree.
cerebral album was Machiavelli the Don.
Machiavelli. Yep.
And as
Yep.
far as All Eyes on Me goes, it's a phenomenal seller. It hits. It's more commercial value, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of fillers on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fillers on there.
It is. It,
And
it is.
truthfully, for a
Mm-hmm.
guy who came from the BX borough slash Harlem slash Brooklyn, he lived in all three of those places at one time
Mm-hmm.
or another.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Queens, he laid for a little while.
Yep.
The thing with Pac was that he was always the forever free agent because that dude always looked for a hip hop home. And that's what Suge Knight provided him as well as protection
Mm-hmm.
when he unfairly got convicted. Because that wasn't a case against Tupac Shakur.
No.
That was a case against everything that the powers that be didn't want because guys like Tupac Shakur made you think a little too much. And that was very scary.
That was scary. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm Rakim. If I had to rate someone, I'm saying Rakim's top, based because and see when people judge hip hop, people, me too. Shouts out to you, Mythic Play. Glad to see you, bro. I agree. I miss Biggie more than Pop. I like Pop. Don't get me wrong. I love Pop, but I was more of a Biggie guy. But when I rate Rakim, and when I rate anybody, they say who's. See, a lot of people say who's the greatest in rap. I don't base my thing on rap. When I say who's the greatest in hip hop, I say okay, who embodies the culture more than anybody. When I look at like my top five of hip hop, I got Biz Markie in my top five. Now listen before I say no. This is why I say Biz Marquis in my top five, and Kid Capri is in my top five. The
Kid
reason
Capri was a
being,
huge contributor.
the reason I say that because these guys do all four elements. Rakim is cuts and scratches. Rakim rocks the fashion. Rakim has the knowledge. Rakim is an MC. Kid Capri.
He's basically like if we're talking because sports podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about 2K create your player,
Yeah,
Rakim is
he's
basically a
99.
99.
He's a
Yeah,
99. And see, like
because there's no weakness. There is literally no
there's no
weakness.
weakness. And that's why I say with Biz Markie. Biz Markie wasn't the greatest lyricist, but he was an MC, he was a DJ, he was a beatboxer, he rocked the flashes and the whole thing. That's how. Now, if you say who's the greatest in terms of just rhyming, okay, then I got a whole different thing. But I'm still putting Rakim on top. But see, like I said, I don't know about that. You talking about rap or you talking about hip hop, Missy Play? Because when we talking hip hop, we're not just talking. See, a lot of people mistaken rap for hip hop, and see, people. Now, I'm not shitting on Eminem. So I am not sure. I say Eminem in the past 20 years or so, Eminem is probably like the dopest ever come around. But we're talking hip hop culture in a whole because people seem to separate rap from hip hop culture because, well, see, that's the thing.
And what does
Eminem
this go
doesn't
back
DJ.
to, Idris? What does this
Em,
go back
yeah,
to? The
Eminem doesn't
failure
DJ.
to preserve the history.
A Mythic Plague, rap is an element of hip hop, so you can't say both rap and hip hop. Rap is an element of hip hop. If you separate the two, then you're taking hip hop out the game,
The
and you
way
put
it's all
rap.
birthed off of the way it's all birthed off from jazz, really, if we're gonna go there,
It's
even the
based off the
blues.
jazz, right? Because see, if you really want to say rap, Mythic Plague, and I'm not coming at you, bro, because I got mad respect for you. I'm not coming back at you. But if you want to say rap, then you have to go back to the 1930s with the Jubilees.
Yeah, no lie.
You got to
No
go.
lie.
You got to also start talking about the lost poets of the 1960s and 70s because they are considered the ones who birthed rap. So that's why you can't say rap.
Not to
Because
mention
James
the
Brown
endless
is
amount of even songwriters who never got their roses.
right. Because rap didn't come to what it is like it is now until hip hop came around. But
And then you have the way that Nas explained it on the Hip Hop Is Dead album.
yeah,
You know, we went from the Mickey D's commercials to where it is now to the black. You know, there's so many variables to it. But in
I put
closing,
M up there. M up there. I put M up there for real.
no question. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, the biggest thing that turned me off with Eminem since day one has nothing to do with his lyrical prowess or the way that he delivers.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I'll be honest with you. I
Mm-hmm.
love the culture, but there's certain guys that you go to see like you go to see live and you're disappointed.
Right.
Eminem would never fall into that category, nor would Jigga. That's why Jay-Z is a big thing of where he is because of the way he performed.
Right.
I think Biggie had that stage presence. Pac
Biggie
had that stage
Pac had
presence.
that praise. Yeah.
Rakim, you can put him on the moon and he'll deliver.
Right.
Most Def will deliver.
Oh, Most Def will give you. Oh man,
Kweli will deliver.
Most Def is insane in concert, and he's so cool with it too.
You know, these are guys that will deliver no matter how you slice it, cut it, whatever have you.
Yeah.
But in closing, I think
oh, I love Mystical.
It's
my man.
Oh hell yeah. I like former military man in his own right.
Yes, Mythic Plague, you my dude, because I love me some Mystical.
And I gotta give a shout out.
Look at Plague.
Oh shit. 2 Live Crew.
I see you, bro. Oh, Mythic Plague, he bringing it. Okay, you know what you're talking about, bro. But yo, for real, man.
Live Crew.
For real, Mythic Plague.
I haven't heard that in a minute.
I wouldn't argue with you with Eminem. I wouldn't, because Eminem has put in work for real, and I'm not shitting on Eminem. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, Eminem put in work. And Eminem, I like Eminem. Like I said, Eminem respects the culture. Eminem respects it, and a lot of people today, a lot of his fans don't even respect the culture. They shit on the yeah. Go ahead, Richie.
We're gonna change the title of the show as soon as it
Yeah.
We're gonna change the title of the show to Ballers, Brawlers, and Rappers.
The rappers.
Because
or beefers.
We
or
got
whatever.
Mythic Plague. We were supposed to start about 40 minutes before we did. But Idris and I just got into like this long ass conversation about old friends that we both recently ran into, and a couple of like bigger stories, like just like shock value stories.
Yeah.
That kind of crept up in Idris's case, a little more recent. In my case, like an eye opener for Idris, like what, But these are the kind of conversations we had. I told Idris, I said, "Shit, bro, we could probably go live right now, even though we didn't." And this will be a hell of a shorts clip. And shouts out Coco, my beautiful sister. Shouts out to you because she's putting me on game just on saying like the longer these shows go, the more clips, because the shorts have definitely been bringing more viewers to the channel, which we greatly appreciate. And it's funny, Idris, because in previous years I've always said how prior to March Madness, it's like almost like a little dry thing for a sports podcast post Super Bowl, but that has not been the case here.
Oh, I forgot March Madness is coming up.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, shoot. We got more content, dude.
I want you to hit your cousin. Shouts out Aaron Moorhead, Eagles wide receiver coach. Hate your team, but I think you're pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I think you need to come back on the show, too.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show eventually. But
I don't
just
know.
because I like pulling from different people around the board,
Uh,
because March Madness is the most unpredictable sports
it
scenario in all of it.
that's what makes it so
Aaron
great.
Moorhead, I'm gonna politely ask you now,
Mhm.
release your bracket, sir. We're gonna put it on the show.
Hell yeah.
Mythic Plague. I worked a lot of security and met a lot of rappers and stars from 50 Cent to Cypress Hill to all of the 90s and 2000s. They're always good people. Well, that's
Oh
good to
man.
know. We had some things to say about Fifth earlier.
Yeah. That's what's up,
Um,
Mr. Plague. All
but
right.
once again, and I
Man.
said this about somebody that is dear to my heart, but I'm not going to name drop. Certain
Mhm.
people are different on social media than they are in person too. So we'll just leave it there.
I'll name somebody. I'll name somebody. Pete Rock. I love him. Great producer. But I'm gonna keep it real. And anyone knows Pete Rock, he's an ass in person. I say
I never
it.
heard that, but I wouldn't know that unless you said that.
He's an ass in person. Pete Rock,
Another
great.
another thing that's another thing that's incredibly overlooked because people
Mhm.
used to make fun of his parachute pants.
Oh, the,
MC Hammer was
the
not the
most
one
gangster,
to fuck with.
the most gangster rapper. People think MC Hammer was soft. MC Hammer is a guy that you can do a show and talk trash. You might not go home that night.
And it's so funny because the thing was, MC Hammer, similar to a lot of athletes that maybe
Hmm.
had a checkered past,
Yeah,
in the public eye, and I'm not saying it's not real, but in the public eye, he really clamped onto the faith. So if you look at Please Don't Hurt Him Hammer, I'm going that far back.
yeah,
And then you go to the Too Legit to Quit album. He incorporated a lot more of his beliefs in God. So a lot of his
yeah,
fan base may have kind of give him a thumbs down on that second album. Now obscurity, bankruptcy, da 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 da. Next thing you know, he's with Death Row. And so many people did not know that he was down with them during the heat of it all and the height of it all.
right. Yeah, yeah. Hammer was with nothing to play with. People really don't realize that Hammer was nothing to play with.
And Mythic Plague, if you go back and revisit the beginning of this episode, that's how this episode started. Because we're
Yeah,
talking about the friction between T.I. and 50 Cent. Everybody got friction with 50 Cent right now.
yeah.
Um, but Idris, as always, phenomenal show.
We put
I'm
on a
gonna
hell
get
of a show
inside.
today,
I
man.
gotta get my little man to bed. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's dude's night tonight, so I'm gonna let him hang in with me in the bed.
All
My
right.
lady is getting looking for some answers, a couple of medical things going on. But Jen will watch the show too, so I'm just gonna say, Jen, keep your chin up. You are so
Yeah,
much tougher than you realize. So calm down on that. You got this.
yeah.
And I gotta say, man, this show, sometimes the best shows you do are the ones that you don't plan for.
You don't plan for.
I mean,
That's
we
it.
did plan for it, but
But
this was just,
we took it to another
I
level.
can't wait to hear this.
We took it to another level today.
Fellas, I'm talking to all the fellas, specifically the fellas. I said this on the last show, I'm going to say it again. Um, Men's mental health. We've seen some really sad losses in the sports world, particularly pertaining to the NFL.
Yeah,
Uh, Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings families were affected by the losses of two very talented humans. Guys, I just want to say this from the most caring and sincere part of my soul. If you're going
mhm,
through it on a level that's foreign to you, if you're going through it on a level that it comes to unmanageability, if you're going through it on a level that you just feel like you can't maintain, guys, use your resources. But I'm stamping Idris and my name on this. Reach out directly to us. We'll
yes,
talk you
sir.
through it too.
Sure will.
Because
Sure will.
while more women attempt suicide, more men actually succeed.
It's four
And I've
times
lost
your
a
time.
couple of and I've lost a couple of phenomenal people to that action. And it sounds cliche. Idris said it last week. I'll say it this week. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
And we need all of you here because
Right.
kids need their fathers, women need their husbands.
Hmm.
We just need your energy and we just need all you guys here.
Right
So I'm
on. Right
speaking on
on.
behalf of Mr. Idris Salam as well as myself, Richie Hicks Jr. Um, I'm not always the happiest guy. I have
Mhm.
dealt with depression my entire life,
Mhm.
but we need you here.
Right on.
That's all I got for the show tonight. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel.
Let
Richie
me answer.
Extreme Sports Podcast on
Let me
YouTube. Go
answer.
ahead, Idris.
Let me answer good. It's Mythic Play. It's one thing I found out is more money, more problems. These guys, they have everything, but the one thing they don't have is that person in their corner to, you know, talk to them.
Oh
There's just a
man,
lot
his
of
name
stuff.
eludes me right now. Former defensive tackle, Hawaiian or Samoan roots. His name eludes me right now, but he
Oh,
recently spoke out about this.
yeah. Oh. Because it was just like, because it made me think of Junior Seau. A lot of people got
Junior
a lot of
Seau,
stuff.
that was a terribly sad one.
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on that, these guys that come out of college, it's the pressure. And some of them just have things going on with themselves
I'm
to
gonna
where,
get one that I've mentioned before. I want you to finish your point, but you just
yeah.
sparked a memory to
And
me.
see, one thing about us men, and I don't know if you've been through this before, Mythic Play, but a lot of men go through a lot of stuff, and we're taught not to reach out. We're taught to be strong. We're taught like, no, you a
Yes,
man, da
indeed.
da da, and that
And
stuff builds
I'll
and
even
builds.
take it a step further.
Yeah,
I'll even take it a step further. I'm not trying to generalize the other sex because that just wouldn't be
no,
fair.
no, no.
But with my personal experience, and everybody's experience is different.
Yeah,
Unless it's your own mother, or let's keep it a buck, most black grandmas,
right,
they
right.
I'm just being honest.
No, no, you're
I
right.
I I grew up in a very diverse community where
Oh,
I
I know
sat
that.
at a lot of tables, and I was like, wow, there's a different kind of strength going on here.
Right.
Um, shouts out Lulu. God bless you. I remember her when I was a young kid. It was good that I was exposed to all this because it just gives you like the right scope. And when I see the shit that everybody's like on right now, I'm just like, damn, where did we go wrong, bro?
Yeah.
Before I was even a stain on dad's leg, everybody was partying together in the 70s. Like, what happened?
Hmm. Yeah,
What the
I
fuck
agree, man.
happened?
What happened,
But
man?
yeah, for real. And in addition to getting to our own personal goals here at the podcast and hopefully blowing up this show to where we want it to be, we also have this thing about making it better than how we found it, and that's always been something near and dear to both of our hearts. And truthfully, I think it's a huge driving force in how we became friends to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
'Cause that's something that Idris and I both take rather serious.
Yeah, Mythic Peg. I never knew this guy in my life. I went down to his house and that was it. Went down to Florida, bam. And that was
Yeah, we
it.
knew each other off of New York Giants pages, a couple of hip hop pages,
Yep. That was
you
it.
know, and
I had a crush
you
on
know,
his mama until I found out she was married. So
true story. We're parading around at a tailgate, just like pranking on people. And Idris was like telling people false stories that he was like my stepdad and shit. And when I tell you that everybody was buying this shit,
dude, that was hilarious, man. We had some fun down there in Jacksonville, man.
yeah, Jacksonville was a phenomenal trip.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And shouts out to you, Stumpy. You know who you are.
Yeah, he blocked me, so. Oh, but he
As
didn't
he
block the
should.
show. I forgot. He could see the show, so he could see me.
Yeah, maybe he will. Maybe he will.
We need to do a
For
show
every
on him
cool
one
ass Arizona fan like a Desmond Harrison, unfortunately,
day.
you get one of those.
Invite him on the show. Be like, yo, come on the show, man.
Oh
Bag him.
my. Oh
We
my.
just rap.
Yeah, we're talking in tongues now. People are like, what the fuck are these dudes talking about? All I'm gonna say is this. I was talking to some folks from Southside Jamaica, Queens. They were
Uh-huh.
admiring my Tommy Egan t-shirt, and we were talking about just New York stories.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you this dude was terrified because he thought the one and only Mask was in the building. And terrified. But when he met you, oh my. That story will forever be
Yeah.
repeated to the point of redundancy. And Sean is like, I don't know if I should introduce him. Gary's like, just do it.
Just do it.
Shouts
Gary,
out Mike Lennon, aka Gary Teeter. Good peeps.
the
Good peeps.
pole. The pole.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was like, Idris, don't worry, Gary's driving.
Right.
Don't be alarmed, Gary's driving. Until
Oh
next
man.
time, he is Idris. I am Rich. Idris, I had a great time on the show, for real. This
Oh
was
yeah,
a
me
good
too,
ass show.
man. We gotta do another
I'm
one
looking
like this,
forward
man.
to, yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to this. Introducing some new stuff in the near future. We're going to be doing some collaborations with the Casual Convo Show. We're also going to get our guys from the Sports Corner,
Who's
Joe
calling?
Gal, as well as Johnny Nass back in the fold. Zappy's still with us. He didn't die. He didn't disappear. He's just a
Nah,
super busy dad.
he's still here.
He's still here. We talk all the time. He actually
Cowboy
still
fans
gives a
don't
lot of,
disappear.
yeah,
Cowboy
they
fans.
never have. They give a lot of, he gives a lot of opinions on things we should talk about. So he's still contributing even from afar. But yeah. Any last words on this show, just before we get out of here?
Well, hey, who knows these days? And okay,
You got that fucking right.
you got that right, man. Amen, Mythic Plague.
Oblivious enough to allow me and Idris to sneak into seats right behind the goalpost. I
Right
couldn't
behind goal and
believe
watch
what
the winning
nobody's
drive.
fucking.
Since they watched the
Yeah,
winning stop.
we were basically there for the second half. But the thing that blew my mind is that you had people hugging us up and dapping us up. I'm like, guys, we were not here for the first hour and a half.
Nah,
You
right.
didn't realize?
We caught the last 5 minutes.
So
Now,
we started moving around, but my God, that was funny. But I think what happened was we caught the right. I think we caught the right wave of people that had a lot of important shit to do on Monday.
yeah, and we were beating them too, and they was like, "I'm out of here." Yeah.
But to that one season ticket holder that made us move all our DJ shit, that was a bitch move.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Well, my closing words is baseball season's coming, ladies and gentlemen. March Madness is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. The WNBA might be going on strike, but we got baseball, we got March Madness, so we will be okay.
I got one final thought. I'm going to say it now. WNBA, if you allow your league to go on strike, you girls are finished. Don't do it.
Finished.
And Angel Reese, I really like you. One of my favorites in terms of personality. But and you too, Brittany Griner. But if anybody thinks that Caitlin Clark is not the driving force to why that league might avoid complete obliteration, I hate that word. I can't use that word. I said it anyway. But because other reasons, and I ain't going there tonight.
Caitlin Clark, you know the thing about that, I want to close too. Caitlin Clark, that's my girl. Her and Lisa Boston, Big Boss. Those are my two favorites.
She's the best player in the league. I don't care what anybody has to say.
She's the best.
And she's the most undeniable best player in the league, in my opinion, since Diana Taurasi.
I can agree with
Diana
that.
Taurasi was a bad.
Diana Taurasi was a beast. And you think about it, Caitlin Clark went in there and they whooped them. And she passed it. Caitlin Clark is the cash cow of the WNBA, people. I am black. I am telling you, I am not a sellout. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA.
No question about it. And anybody that doesn't think so is on some hatred or on just some
hatred,
obliviousness.
If the league folds, that girl's gonna make it. Because Ice Cube's still gonna throw her that $5 million to come to the big three. She's gonna get she's gonna get her stuff. So Caitlin Clark's gonna be okay. The rest of them, no.
Yeah, Angel Reese could fall victim to flavor of the month, even though she has been marketable.
Yeah, but they just that little 3-on-3 thing, they just got eliminated. So that didn't help her.
No, not by any means.
Don't go on strike, ladies. They'll be the end of your careers in the WNBA. Don't go on strike.
Last three things.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers, you cost me money by actually winning a hockey game.
Those guys.
Knicks, keep it up. What I saw today is what I expect to see more nights than not, because you are the favorites to win the East going into the year.
Especially when Cat only scored 12 points and we still win by
absolutely.
Still blew them out.
Absolutely. And New York Mets, New York Yankees fans.
Shit.
Met fans, there is absolutely no reason in hell why the New York Yankees would ever have you guys living rent-free in their heads when you haven't won a fucking World Series since the Reagan administration. So stop the bullshit. You got Soto. Can you possibly make the playoffs with him? Or is this going to be another name grab, like when you tried to act like Mickey, like Willie Mays was a real Met?
Look, man, there's no old school New York team, Giants, Yankees, Rangers, Knicks, who are worried about the other teams, the Mets, the Jets. Who else they got? The Islanders. Who did I miss? Mets, Jets, Islanders. One more team.
Well, we don't
I
really
know
care
it.
for them.
I know what it is. I still want to mention them, but yeah. We
That's
don't
it.
worry about y'all.
And that's it. As the Yankees go, I will say one thing. I am a little worried about this lat thing with Cam Schlittler. They're going to need him, but I am very encouraged that Garrett Cole is pitching at the velocity that he is early on. And I wouldn't call it much of a hot take. I think Spencer Jones is going to beat out Jason Dominguez for that final outfield spot.
He might.
I think Jason Dominguez is going to go down to AAA, and he might be an attractive trade candidate, or it might just be a deal where he gets more reps. And if Spencer Jones struggles, he's back up. I'm not completely convinced that I'm all the way in love with the structure of this Yankees lineup, but we got to see. Ben Rice is the man at first now. Paul Goldie is going to be mentoring him, and he's going to probably be coming in and, obviously lefty versus righty situations. Paul Goldschmidt crushes in those situations. And I think with less at-bats and keeping his body right, he could be a good contributor here on the veteran spec. Aaron Judge is going to have a monster year.
I think Aaron Judge is ballistic this year.
And I'm going on the record. The New York Yankees are going to win the American League East, not the Boston Red Sox, not the Baltimore Orioles, and definitely not the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees are coming for blood. We got embarrassed last year. We're gonna make it right.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Well, watch out for those Mariners. They got a lot of pitching.
They got a lot of pitches, dude. And they're like on the brink, man. You just got to put it together, man.
But I'm going to say this, from a historical based standpoint, the American League East race is going to be one of the closest in the history of the division because the Boston Red Sox are a damn good team. Baltimore Orioles are not that far from being good again, but it's a prove-it year for some of their guys, some of the younger guys that are, okay, it's a time now. Adley Rutschman, Jackson Holiday talking to you guys. Gunnar Henderson talking to you.
Man, or what? They look so dominant, and they just went right back to being the Orioles,
Yeah, but I think my biggest joy this baseball season, I mean, with the exception of hopefully the Dodgers not three-peating, even if it's not us. It's not good for baseball. I don't want them three-peating.
Me neither. I don't want them winning nothing.
I'm going to be a very happy man if the New York Mets somehow find a way to fumble this because Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto do really not like each other. And while it might have worked in the 70s with Reggie and Thurman with the it ain't working in Queens. You can put my name on that. Your pitching better show up because I'm telling you right now, Devin Williams, first pitch of the spring, blasted out. Yeah, you go. Enjoy that. Luke Weaver's probably still toting around his Yankee bag on the Queens confines. I bet you some of the Mets personnel probably freaking dumped that into the old auto chopping zone over there.
If the Mets want to be my good grace, beat the Dodgers.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. If the Mets beat the Dodgers and win the World Series, I can live with it.
No, don't win the World Series. I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy,
but I could live with it.
No, if they get there and the Yankees are not there,
I can live with it.
Yeah, I can live with it.
Because it's one of those things where I don't hate the franchise. It's some of those fans that have this envy of.
It's the fans, yo. They act like the Mets have done. No, you guys are the Brooklyn Nets.
And the most unsensible Mets fan I have ever come across on social media, and I am going to name drop him. I don't give a shit. Yeah. Craig Strauss, just shut up.
Oh my God, that guy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Mr. Craig Strauss. I used to be in a Yankee game, a Yankee group with him. I think I'm still in the group. I just hadn't been in it. Craig Strauss used to come in there with the most.
Very bizarre. Very, very bizarre on his levels of unsensible hatred for Yankee fans. Now, he's a fellow Giant fan and whatever. That don't make sense too. But Dorney, whatever, that never makes sense to me. Mets and Giants, what?
Yeah.
The only thing they got in common is that they both won in '86.
That's it. But yeah, Craig Strauss. That guy man.
Yeah, like completely ignorant. I mean, Doherty's a ball breaker, but at least he
Yeah.
knows.
At least he knows.
Like,
At least Dory knows what he's talking about.
and at
Strauss
least
is
he knows that he is part of the pain. The reason why I could never completely hate on a fan like Richard Doherty is because I'm a Knicks fan,
right, right.
and I understand the pain.
Isn't
And he's a
Strauss?
Knicks fan too, so it's like double the pain. And he's
Isn't
a
Strauss?
Ranger fan, so it's like triple the pain.
Okay, okay, we're good. But isn't Strauss? He's a Mets. Is he a Jets fan too, or is he a Giants fan?
Who's this?
Strauss, Craig Strauss.
No, he likes the G-Men. I knew that
That's,
because of the G's Up page.
oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay,
But truthfully, I don't really.
you know what? Me and him have never been Facebook friends. I mean, but when I come across, we get along.
No, it's just funny. There's this one shit talking group for Yankees and Mets fans, it is comical.
It might be the one
Like,
I'm in. Just hadn't been in.
I
a
could
while.
understand hating a team, but
Yeah.
when a team consistently does something that your team consistently doesn't, it's just like, bro.
Is it the New York New York Mets rivalry group? If that's it, I'm in that group.
It's called shit talking.
No, I ain't
Literally called shit talking. Okay, well, I'm gonna send you an invite. Yeah,
Okay,
we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun here, especially
And
during
Craig's in
baseball
that
season.
one too, right?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm like Craig. Remember me in New York, the Yankee Mets rivalry group? Like man, you get on my damn nerves.
All right, let's get it. For Idris, I am Richie. We're really gonna go this time.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. If you haven't already, please make a point, like, and subscribe. We out.
We are Ghost. Peace.